Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Krypton Caged. I've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League 5 times and I'm gonna talk about it. Let's get right into it. Alright, so firstly, I want to thank HBO Max and at Snyder Cut on Twitter for giving me this opportunity to watch the movie early. I got invited to an early fan screening that happened yesterday. And since then, I've just been watching the movie. I've been watching it continuously, and I've watched it 5 times now. So I really love the movie. I think it's amazing. It's beautifully shot, and the cinematography is amazing. The score, the sound design, I think are pretty great. And I was expecting it to be really good, but I was surprised by the things that were in the movie. And I've been part of the release the Snyder Cut movement, and I've been following it very closely since 2017, basically. And every detail and things that were released, or the news that came out, I've been in the know of all of that. And even then, I was very surprised by how the movie turned out. And I just think that there's so much to enjoy in this movie, especially for Snyder fans. There's It's like a victory. It's basically everything you dreamed of and more. I also think that this movie has a very wide appeal, so the general audiences can also enjoy. I think that most people will find this movie very much fun. I've seen some of the online reactions as the social media embargo lifted yesterday, and I've seen some pretty good raving reviews. So that's really good. That's a really good sign. But in my opinion, it's just very good. And I'm a big Snyder fan, and I've loved all of his movies until now. And I think this fits perfectly into his larger pantheon. I just cannot, I just cannot wait to see more from Zack Snyder, whether it's DC or whether it's his other projects like Army of the Dead and whatnot. Um, so yeah, let's just talk about Justice League, and let's see. I have some notes here that I will refer to when talking about the movie, so that's why I'm looking here. So yeah, firstly, I just want to say that this movie has a lot of it has a lot of heart. It has a lot of emotions. The whole story is a lot fleshed out, and it's very much the 4 hour runtime. It's actually very much needed, and I actually thought the movie could have been a bit longer. I felt certain scenes, could have been longer, and I actually, ironically, felt that the movie is kind of short for what it was doing. So there's that. But yeah, the characters were amazing. The CGI looked near perfect. They had only 7 months to work on this entire 4 hour movie, and they did it all in the pandemic, which is really good, impressive. And I was expecting certain things to not maybe look finished and stuff, but there was none of that. Everything that I've seen in this movie, it looked very good, and the villains and the heroes, the costumes, the color grading of the movie is that's probably my favorite part. And the color grading is probably my favorite of all the Snyder movies. In this movie, so the visuals are just like it's a given, right? For a Snyder movie, the visuals will be good, but it's just another revolutionary, thing for Snyder to do. And he's setting the precedent for comic book movies going forward. And I just am mind blown by seeing this. There are a lot of big action set pieces in this movie, like we have known for a long time. There's even more action set pieces than Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. um at times it feels like you need a breather, but every little scene is very important to the story, and there's no filler stuff, or stuff that you can look away or get bored. Every little scene is important, and it keeps you engaged, and it's beautiful. So the first big action scene in the movie is the Themyscira scene, and the one that you see in the trailers where Steppenwolf invades to get the mother box. That scene was fantastic. The Amazons are pretty great. They're depicted very well, and they're very strong, powerful, and all that stuff. It looks that whole scene looked very, very good. Like Steppenwolf actually had a hard time getting that mother box away from them, and it was pretty fantastic to see, because it's such a huge scale action piece that was butchered in the theatrical cut, and we never got to see it. So it's great to finally see it with the actual Steppenwolf design and his power. And then the next action set piece would be probably the Age of Heroes, which is the history lesson that shows the ancient time where Uxus came to Earth, and they had a huge fight with the old gods, the Earth, men of Earth and the Atlanteans and the Amazons united to fight Uxus and his, parademons and all that stuff. So that's a pretty good scene, and even the scale of that scene is pretty big. The CGI is great. The action is fantastic. So all that stuff is amazing. The next mother box is obviously from Atlantis. Steppenwolf goes into Atlantis to get that. There we see Aquaman and Mira. They're pretty, the graphics for underwater Atlantis, that's pretty great over there as well. I really like that scene. Then you have the other action scenes that are like, the tunnel battle is one, where the some of the league members fight Steppenwolf, and that's a cool scene. Like, a lot of action and a lot of fun moments for team building. So that's good to see. And then they have the Superman resurrection scene, and then right after that they have the Heroes Park scene, which is very it's kind of similar to the theatrical, but still very different in terms of how it looks and some of the scenes that happen there. So that's another thing that has to be looked at. And then the next one is obviously the third act battle. That's a that's a pretty good scene, because um, there's a lot of elements to it, which is completely different from the theatrical release. And there's a Superman scene and all that stuff. So even the way it looks and the action in it, it's one of the best third acts I've ever seen in any film, and it really does elevate the movie, quite a bit because of how it looks and the action and all of that stuff. So it's pretty action packed movie. There's no fillers or any boring scenes in between. I actually thought that this movie could have used a more a couple of scenes more, or 15 minutes or 20 minutes more. So now I'll start talking about the individual characters and how they performed in the movie. I'll start with Lois because she is very important to the movie, and the movie starts with her perspective. Kind of, she's grieving over Superman's death, and she's lonely, and also she's missing Superman, and there's a lot going on with her. And they showed it perfectly, how she would be after BVS. And I thought her arc throughout the movie was pretty good, and she was actually very she actually added a lot to the movie, a lot of heart, a lot of emotion. And as as Flash said in BVS, she's the key. So yeah, she has a pretty big role in the movie, and it's great to see the movie start with her. The next character I'm going to go into is Bruce Wayne. I thought that Ben Affleck's Batman is the best Batman we've ever seen when I saw BVS. And right after BVS, the Justice League theatrical cut was, it totally butchered Batman, and that's something so hard to do, yet they managed to do it. And this movie actually, Snyder actually, with his original Batman scenes, he actually gives a lot of justice to him, his character, and Bruce Wayne obviously has a very, very big role in BVS. And right after that, he was supposed to be on this redemption arc, and um, he was supposed to be shown as the person responsible for putting the league together, and that's what we get in this movie. And he's very, he feels guilt because of what he did to Clark in BVS. He kind of feels that he was, um, you know, part of the reason why Superman died. So he feels very guilty in that sense, and the way he acts is amazing to watch, and it's very emotional. His whole journey, and throughout the movie we feel that, and that's very important. So the next character that I want to talk about is Wonder Woman and Diana Prince. So um, I know that Wonder Woman has different iterations in the DCEU, but my personal preference is Snyder's Wonder Woman because she has always been the strong lady and warrior, and very classy and strong type of woman. And I really loved seeing Diana's action, and all the stuff that she did in Wonder Woman 1 and BVS. So I like that version of Wonder Woman. So we totally get that version in this movie and more. So that's pretty fantastic to see that. And Diana is also very, um, her chemistry with Bruce Wayne is very cool to watch, and that's one of the things that they added kind of to her character, and I liked that a lot. She has some scenes with Alfred too, which are funny as hell. She also has to recruit Ray Fisher Cyborg, and that's also a cool scene. It gives more emotion to the character. And speaking of that, the next character I want to talk about is Cyborg. Cyborg has been, promoted as by Zack Snyder as the heart of the movie, and he definitely is. He has a very emotional arc in the movie, and a lot of stuff happens that kind of shows his origin story in this movie. And he has an amazing power set, which I was really surprised by, and actually liked it. I would definitely want to see more of Ray Fisher Cyborg in the future. Maybe a solo series or solo movie. I would definitely love that. There's so much potential for that in future storytelling. And I also really liked that his body, his suit was very good. It was flawless, and that's actually very important for this character because apart from the head, his entire body is CGI, right? So because Ray Fisher did motion capture, I think that his suit looked amazing, and I really liked his CGI. um, and he also has this huge emotional arc throughout the film. His dynamic with Silas Stone and his mom and all that stuff is pretty good. Overall, I really, really liked Cyborg, and I would really love to see more of him. The next character I want to talk about is Flash. Flash is surprisingly very charming, funny, witty, and smart. I did not expect him to be this funny and stuff when I went into this movie, but he has some very cool scenes, and there's one major scene that he has in the third act, which is very, very beautiful, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before, and that's I think Flash fans or DC fans are going to really, really like that scene. and it was surprising, to say the least. But yeah, his chemistry with Iris West was cool. I liked their dynamic, on-screen chemistry and stuff. I really liked that. So I hope we get more of that in the upcoming Flash movie where she has been cast as Iris. So let's see how that goes. Now the next character is Aquaman, and Aquaman is very, he's not a character that's very much popular. People make fun of that character a lot, but since the Aquaman solo movie that came out in 2018 and made $1 billion, that character is kind of popular now, and in the DCEU, he's one of the fan favorites. So I really like Jason Momoa's character um, in this story specifically because of how Snyder portrayed that character. Jason Momoa has a very different character than he has in that movie, and I like this version better. This is actually supposed to be the original version, and I like this version better. He's more serious. He feels like a king in this movie, and the way the demeanor he has is actually pretty great. And I hope that the next movie he is in embraces that part instead of making him just like really funny or stupid or something like that. But his scenes were pretty cool to see. He had scenes with Mira and Welko, and the Atlantis scene where Steppenwolf invades. That scene is pretty cool to watch. My next character that I want to talk about is Superman. Obviously, Superman is probably everyone's favorite, or maybe Batman, but Superman is one of the best characters, and we're waiting since BVS to actually see him being portrayed well, and you have to look no further because this movie does him justice. Henry Cavill is Superman, and he's just Superman unleashed. It's like nothing you have ever seen before, and you'll be very happy with the scenes he has in this movie. It's pretty fantastic. And then we have Clark Kent scenes with Henry Cavill, which actually are pretty good, with Lois and Martha, and the stuff that we saw in the trailers and whatnot. Those scenes are pretty heartwarming, and you see proper Henry Cavill's face and all that stuff. So that's pretty emotional and pretty good to watch. But again, you also have one of the Nightmare Superman scenes that, obviously there's Nightmare Superman version in BVS. So similarly, we have a Nightmare scene in here, and it's pretty amazing what they did here. And I cannot wait for you guys to watch it because it's going to blow your mind. Speaking of the nightmare future, there's one more added scene that was shot during the additional photography last year in October, and Zack Snyder shot it himself. And that scene has a lot of new characters that weren't in the original, 2016 version. So it's actually pretty great, and the scene turned out pretty fantastic. I cannot wait for you to see that. Obviously, we all know Joker was in that scene, and the interaction he has with Batman is pretty amazing to watch. Like it's one for the books, and it will go down in history. I love that. And I would really, really, really love to see more of the Nightmare world in the next movie, in the sequels, in spin offs, whatnot. I just am very fascinated with the Nightmare world Snyder created, and it's one of the most appealing things to me from his DC movies and this universe. So I would really, really like to see more of that Nightmare future. Um, Obviously, Darkseid, Steppenwolf, and all that stuff is there, and um, Darkseid, the character, Ray Porter voiced that character, and he did some of the mocap too. That character's performance is amazing. I cannot believe Darkseid was done this good, and I thought that his CGI even was flawless. Like I was kind of expecting that because they finished the movie in only 7 months. I thought that some of the stuff might not look finished, but it was flawless. Like they did a fantastic job, and even in his close-ups and stuff, he looks pretty amazing. And he's very menacing, and his voice is amazing. I cannot. He's very powerful. I cannot wait to see more of Darkseid. I just want this Justice League sequel to be greenlit as soon as possible. And I've seen a lot of people saying that, and I just hope that HBO Max sees that, and they see that there's demand for it, and fans will definitely want more of this movie. Steppenwolf is a pretty great character as well. He actually looks pretty amazing. He's very unique. His design, the armor he's wearing, looks pretty slick, and he just does not care about anything. He just wants the mother boxes, and form their unity, right? So I really liked the design, and I really loved how his performance was, and he's pretty frightening and menacing as well. The facial expressions and all that stuff was pretty good. His story arc was pretty good, and I really liked Steppenwolf. Obviously, there's Desaad, and we don't see much of him. We only see him through something, which is not very clear, but yeah, I like Desaad. I would like to see more of Desaad as well, and more of Apocalypse as a whole. We see a little bit of it, like we saw in the trailers. So I would like to see more of that. Maybe in the next movie we'll see, because it's the Nightmare movie, like Snyder said. I just hope that they go ahead and make that movie, because a lot of people are asking for it, and I've seen a lot of reviews and fan reactions and critic reactions, and they all seem to be very interested now. And the movie has been received very well, and mostly positively. So I have hope that Snyder would probably come back and make more sequels. Although if he does not, I would be fine with it, because I was actually not asking for everything. I just wanted Snyder to finish this movie, and I wanted them to release it, because it's so much more than just a movie. It's about justice. It's about what happened to the Snyders. It's about Autumn, and this movie has meant a lot to a lot of people, and it's finally amazing to watch all of our dreams come true. And thank you so much, HBO Max, AT&T, and Warner Media, Jason Kylar, whoever was in charge. Thank you, everyone, for making this happen. You have made millions of people really happy during these very bad times, and I think that this reward is a really good one for anyone, really. Like I said, this movie has a very broad appeal, so I can see why people are liking it. It's kind of lighthearted. It has fun moments. It has humor, but it's perfectly balanced with the other dark stuff. It's not deviating from any of the Snyder tone, but it's also probably one of his lighter movies from all of his movies. That was my review. I'll do a spoiler review and in-depth talk about this movie next week on my new show that I've been doing the past few weeks. It's called The Real Talk Live. I do it with my co-host, the Viking. His name is Sean Maher, and we both do this show and discuss movies and all the latest stuff. So make sure you check that out. It's on Saturday on US time, but it's Sunday at 7:30 a.m. My time. So yeah, we'll be breaking down the entire movie and our theories and all that stuff, all the spoiler talk on on Real Talk Live, the next episode. I'll drop a link below in the description, so you can go and subscribe to the channel and check out the videos that I've been putting up there. So yeah, that's it. I hope you check this movie out. It means a lot to a lot of people. Whether you're a fan of Snyder, whether you liked BVS or you didn't, I do encourage you to check this one out and give this one a shot, because a lot of people who didn't like BVS at all are also seeming to love this movie. So I definitely encourage you to check it out, and you might like it. Make sure to follow our Real Talk Live pages on Instagram and Twitter. We post about all the latest movie news, and we post clips from our streams, so you can get updates from there as well. And you can always follow me at Krypton Caged on all social media. If you watched the movie, let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? What are your theories? Make sure you drop them in the comments below, or you can join me on the Real Talk Live show and we can discuss it live. So, yeah, I'm Krypton Caged. This was my review, and I'll see you later.